Hey, everybody, what is going on? This is the Sports Counterpoints podcast. Once again, today is July the 21st, 2025. GB, Brian, we got Coop calling in from South Central Hayward. What's going
Man,
down?
how you doing? Good to see y'all.
Yeah.
Oh,
chilling.
hey, gotta give a shout out, Brian. Happy birthday! Well, I said happy birthday on your actual birthday, but
Yep.
let's say it for everybody. Happy birthday, B.
Thank
Another
you.
year, another trip around the sun.
Yep.
48 laps.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So we was out here celebrating, couple of liquid refreshments, some grilling and
I
chilling.
came close to getting one for every year.
Yes.
I feel a few short.
Nothing crazy. We're good. Drank a lot of water, so everything was good, man. We had a good time. So yeah, I'm out here with B. Let's get to it, man. So we're talking about the show today. We're gonna talk about Marcus Smart going to the Lakers, Deandre Ayton at the Lakers now, Bradley Beal and Chris Paul going to the Clippers. Sorry. Sorry. Damian Lillard goes back to Portland. Jokic wanted to become a free agent to renegotiate his contract, which I didn't even know about that, but makes sense. Also, WNBA contract negotiations and the All-Star game protests at their All-Star game. So let's get into that. But before, I wanted to ask you guys, man, give me personally one of your favorite sports moments, like professional watching, college, just something like, oh man, I remember this game or this moment, and why.
B, go ahead and start.
All right. For me, it was Kobe's farewell game that I was thinking about when Glenn mentioned this. I mean, it was just such a moment. The excitement was just crazy. And it was just an impossible thing, right? I mean, here's a man who was basically retiring because the body was quitting on him. He couldn't get his shoulder to get right. It was his shoulder more than his Achilles that made it so that he decided he needed to retire. And he goes out there and just puts on a show. There will never, ever be someone who retires and has a game like that as their finale, because most people wait too long. I mean, they want that one more year where they're on the bench and scoring 10 points and they don't have it in them to be able to even do something like that. But just the fact that it was Kobe, it was that moment, last game of the season that obviously wasn't going anywhere, and he went nuts. So I'm watching that game. I mean, independent of that, the part of the experience for me was I'm watching that game, and I'm literally standing in my old game room, my old house, just going, I can't believe he did this. Oh my God, is he going to get to 40? Is he going to get to 50? And just keeps on going. He was unconscious. The whole team was up. It was, and I don't think I sat down. And for those of you who watch sports with me, I'll sit. Doesn't really matter about what. I'm sitting. I don't think I sat down for the second half really, and was just so excited about that. So that's one of my fondest sports watching memories. What about you, Jason?
Mine was, hopefully I'm not on mute. Mine was, I remember when the 49ers got Deion Sanders, and they was during the 94 season. And, of course it was a big deal because Deion was a very good player. But just because you got players on your team doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a Super Bowl. And so that team actually with Deion, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, all them, it started out 1-2. They had 1 win and 2 losses. Didn't look so good in the beginning. So of course nothing's guaranteed, but then that team went on to win the rest of their regular season games and then all their playoff games in the Super Bowl. So they never lost again after they had a 1-2 record. And I remember watching the Super Bowl, and in the Super Bowl they played the Chargers, and I think they won 52-26, something like that. But
that was such a good game.
They really didn't take the Chargers seriously because they were lining tight ends up as wide receivers and trying to give everybody a catch or a touchdown. And they were just having a whole lot of fun. In the first half, you knew that game was over. And the reason why that game sticks out is because not only the names on there, you got Deion, you got Rice, you had the 4 guys in the secondary, 3 of them made the Pro Bowl with Merton Hanks and I think Tim McDonald along with Deion Sanders. So Brent Jones was tight end. Ricky Waters was a running back. He had 1,500 yards that year. So it was a really, really, really good team. And I just remember them just closing the deal in that Super Bowl. Everybody thought it might have been close, maybe had a chance. I think Jim Harbaugh maybe was quarterback in that team. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody was. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Indianapolis or something. But I just remember that team just dominating for the rest of the season. And another reason why I remember that team is because I got into kind of betting during that time, and all their games, all their games
All
went
right,
over
yeah,
the
let's
total.
get to it.
And all their games went over the total in the regular season. They were just scoring so many points. Other team would probably score 20, but they would score 40. And then, over under probably be like 50 points. And they went over almost every single game. And so I knew a guy who I used to hang with who kind of got me into betting. And he was borrowing money from people just to bet the over in the 49ers game. He didn't even like the 49ers. He was a diehard Raider fan, but the 49ers kept going over the total in all these games because they just had a really good offense, and they would give up points in the end, always make it go over. So that's one thing I remember about that season, is that they always went over the total, and they had all those players, but they sealed the deal and won the Super Bowl. So that's why I remember that season. And we haven't had a Super Bowl winning season since. So yeah.
Yeah, and y'all beat the Chargers. So
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I remember that game. So those are great. And I love sports for that, because both of these games I remember. Kobe's game, I remember being at Grammy's house.
Yeah.
Grammy had passed, I believe. So I was there solo. Wait, I don't know. It was end of the season 20. Yeah, I think she might be in the room. But either way, I was in there by myself watching the game, and same thing Brian was saying, up, hype, going crazy. In a meaningless game, but it meant so much because of what the reason was for, right? That Super Bowl, I remember I was watching, shout out to my bro Corey, we used to watch every Super Bowl together. I remember that game specifically, being at his house with his family watching the game and just watching the Chargers get cooked enough to where we went outside and started playing football ourselves. I remember that game. So a couple for me that I think of, real quick, one, we went to see Shaq's jersey retirement.
Yeah. Oh,
super
word.
good
Okay.
seats. And that was awesome, because like Brian called me at work, was like, hey, can you get down here by this time? And I was like, I'll make it happen. Shot out of work, drove all the way down, met Brian downtown. I was out in the valley to downtown at that hour. It was a lot to get there, but we made it. Watching the game, seeing Shaq's jersey retired, ended up like the photo they took were in it.
Yeah.
People were there, like that was awesome. So that was a great moment. The one though I'm going to go to, and y'all were both there, was that the Sacramento Kings versus Laker game when Robert Horry hit that three to win it.
Memorial Day. It was Memorial Day weekend.
That's right.
It was the day because everybody was in the house.
Well, no, but you guys always did the event on Sunday.
Yeah, but I think it was on Saturday. That game was on Saturday, wasn't it?
No. It was on Sunday.
It was
on Sunday. Okay.
It was on this. On Sunday.
Okay.
Because I was sitting right next to Dina, as a matter of fact, and she was talking to Ellis.
Everybody, bro. So we're there. I'm sitting on the couch on the stairs next to my dad, and Lakers are down. It's seconds left. Blotty, I think it's Blotty, right? Tapped it out to Robert Horry, picks it up, lets it fly, and all the Laker fans start standing. Water.
Yeah.
Bruh, I pop jump, ran down the stairs. Kings fans started running out the house. That like those kind of moments, we're all watching. It was a big game. It was our team, and they were playing the Kings, and we were in Sacramento.
Yep.
And that then for that game to live in infamy like it does, like that game comes up at least once a month for me. I don't know if on you guys, I see it in the feeds, people talk about it, but that moment there, and there's a lot of them, but
I remember it fondly because the memories of that whole thing, and it was during the usually most people were outside and there's a game on and some people were there, but in that instance, everybody's
there.
Packed.
Yeah, I was by the couch. Yeah, I remember where I was at.
Yeah,
so on the right side.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. And then for anybody watching, leave a comment on the YouTube channel or wherever. I mean, most everybody who watches this knows us personally, so you can also send it to us and we'll post it. But it's just cool to kind of get those insights from people. So thank you guys for that, which is dope. And almost all of those moments involve you guys, which is cool too. So I was gonna say, Coop, when the Raiders beat the Niners and we were 0-10 that year.
Man, and I told you it could happen. Remember, I told you it could happen. Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback. I said, it ain't going to be a guaranteed victory.
Bruh, that was because we had won nothing, and then we beat the Niners, and man, anyway. So that was great, man. Yep. A lot of them. So anyway, thank you guys for answering that. Let's keep the show rolling. Starting with our Lakers getting Marcus Smart and Deandre, just lump them in. So Marcus Smart, from what I understand, was a Luka hire. It was somebody Luka wanted. Defensive presence, PG. What do you guys think about that pickup?
I'll go first. I mean, this is all Luka, right? So Luka actively recruited Marcus Smart. Wanted that defensive toughness because it's what he's not, defensively tough. But then also Ayton, a couple of years ago, was the number one pick and pop person in the league playing in Phoenix. So he brought a player they brought a player in that absolutely matches Luka's style. Not really LeBron style, which I think is the message here. We're going to be talking about what's going on with Jokic in a second, and I definitely think those items are related. I think that these are smart signings given the free agents that were available. Marcus Smart is probably a better addition than, a Chris Paul to the Lakers. That's not to say Chris Paul isn't a good ad, but, Marcus Smart fits better with what the Lakers are trying to do. I don't think any of this makes them a championship team, but it makes them a better team than they were before the free agency started. You never know what happens in the course of a season. They could catch lightning and get to the Western Conference Finals again, or whatever round they play the Nuggets, who seem to be their kryptonite. But anyways, solid moves in my opinion. I don't think it makes them championship contenders, but solid moves given the free agents that were available. Jason?
Yeah, you said everything. I feel the exact same way. Great. We got a couple names that we know, but it doesn't move us any closer to win a championship. And that's all really I care about being a Laker fan, is winning championships, not having a good season or getting the 8th seed and just making the playoffs. But if we're really a championship contender, and I don't think this does it. So, we'll see.
I knew it'd be fast. Do you have any specific thoughts to Ayton?
No, that's what I was saying. He was a top pick and pop guy in Phoenix, and
got it. We'll see where that plays out. All right, cool. So then now the LA team who probably will win a championship with these two pickups.
Right. That part.
The Los Angeles Clippers get Bradley Beal and Chris Paul. Tell me the impacts, guys. How does this move the needle for them?
I mean, the AARP's just got to love this, because from an advertising perspective, this is like exactly what they wanted. Have every old person in the league on the same team talking about how they're going to help get the championship. I mean, Kawhi's the young dude at 34. I just had a birthday. 34 seems like a wonderful time, a long time ago. But this is an old group. You got Chris Paul at 40. They were joking before Chris Paul got there about all the did not play coach's decisions and did not play for injuries, and all the questionables and probables that all Bradley Beal and Kawhi Leonard and all these dudes bring to it. So it's hard to get excited when everyone already knows what the problem is. None of these players have been available for the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're a Clippers fan, what you have to worry about is if you're buying tickets to mid-season games and early season games, you're not going to see any of these players playing with each other, because unfortunately we live in a time where you protect the assets and you want them there for playoffs. So early in the season, you're going to get everyone pretending like they're nursing an injury and missing a week here and a week there, and it's going to be understood. And Ty Lue's going to, gloss it over and say, well, this isn't the important part. And then the mid-season games where nobody really cares about those games, you're going to get, not much interest. You'll get a couple of them here and there. And, towards the third quarter of the season, you'll start getting them playing together, because they're going to think that they're trying to build a foundation and a rapport. And then ultimately, we'll see if they can stay healthy for the end of the season in the playoffs. But I can't see how it works. Like the law of averages suggests that 2 of these 5 or 6 old guy players are going to get injured.
Injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I don't think there's much to get excited about, other than that the names are going to bring some energy to the Intuit Dome.
If you had a Chris Paul jersey, you could wear it again too.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's hella funny.
Throwback.
I have nothing to say about the Clippers. I hate them just slightly under the Celtics, but I know Brian hates them more.
I hate them more. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate
but,
the Clippers more than I hate the Celtics.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the Clippers. I mean, I still don't think they've been to a Western Conference
No.
final
If so,
series.
they put a banner up. That's how crazy they are.
Yeah.
We made a game. Yay.
Yeah. So, Glenn, you got any words for the clip joint?
Man, I'm you know me, I try and be the balance, man. I was already laughing at these guys, but these were really good players back when I really cared about basketball. So like a long time ago, Chris Paul used to cook us.
Oh yeah.
He was with New Orleans.
One of the best.
Oh my gosh. So I always gotta give CP his props. You know, how he plays and who he is and all that. I don't know the man, you know, whatever stories you hear, whatever, but he could ball. And then Bradley Beal could hoop for a long time too. I don't know, you know, it kind of, unfortunately for a lot of players, feels like once you start getting in those situations where you're moving, whether it be for trying to get a ring, whether it be for trying to get, you know, more bread or whatever, unfortunately it doesn't work often. So,
well, Bradley Beal's problem though, Glenn, is just playing in games. I mean, he last time he played 60 games was 2021. That's the last time he played 60 games was in 2021.
And I'm thinking probably 2019 and before when I think of B. Bill, because he could hoop, but fair enough. So
yeah.
There's no doubting that these were some of the best players in the league at one point in time or another.
Right.
Most of them not at the same time because there is a decent spread amongst them.
Yeah.
And I still think, and you know, Kawhi is one of the most talented players right now in the league.
Yeah.
He's you know when he's healthy, he's a problem.
Yeah.
But
respect. Hey, I couldn't play a game, so yeah, I get it. But I didn't also choose that as my career path. So you got that. So let's talk. I mean, I am excited about this next one. Dame Lillard going back to Portland, Dame time. I think that's where he should be. He did so much for the city, so much for that team. I mean, the reason when I think of them, I think of him and then like Brandon Roy, you know what I mean? Because of what could have been Bonzi and all those guys in the past. But Dame has been the reason to watch the Trailblazers for, you know, his entire career. So I think it's cool he gets back. I think it's cool that the Bucks are paying most of his salary, or a large bulk, so that gives the chance for Portland to hopefully, with their GM, figure out, get him some players.
No, Milwaukee's paying the salary that he signed with Milwaukee with, and then he's getting a new salary with Portland.
Yeah, but he's signing for like a minimum deal.
Yeah,
right,
so 41 for
$42 million,
which
exactly.
Is crazy to say because the money's so big.
Yeah, it's a lot of money still, but
it's not, you know, it's not a super max where the team is hamstrung to it. So I think that's cool. We'll see what they do with it. But I mean, I think that's where Dame should be. His jersey will get retired for sure.
Yeah.
You know, the day he decides it may be a statue. So.
Yeah, when I think of the Trailblazers, I always think of Clyde Drexler. I don't think of him in Houston when he won a title, but I think Portland, Clyde Drexler, and I think of Dame. That's who I think of. I think of those two. He'll definitely get his jersey retired in Portland. Portland's not trying to win a championship. They're just trying to get some interest from the fans, which I understand that. You're not going to be a championship team. You might as well give the fans a reason to come to the games. I don't expect Dame to play any more than 60 games because he has gotten hurt a lot. Abdominal issues, whatever, multiple times. He has I think Achilles or something right now. So yeah, to advertise him and bring fans to the stadium. I mean, I'm all for that. And like you guys said, I think this is where he should be.
Yeah, everything's already been said. He's where he's supposed to be. You know, that whole little foray into can he help another team win didn't work out, and so they brought him home. And that's what they should do.
Yep, 100%. So that cool. So Dame time back in Portland, also from the town. So I'm always gonna have respect for Dame. But up next, so Jokic. I didn't even know. I didn't read this.
Yeah, here I'll start that one off. So I think it was yesterday that his agents announced that he could sign a max deal this summer. Jokic made the decision that he would not negotiate this summer for a new deal. He would wait until he becomes a free agent next year. Of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of speculation because guess whose contract comes off the book next summer? That's LeBron. That's a pretty big cap hold. So, you know, there's obviously some conversation about Luka and Jokic.
But Brian, are they friends? I thought they were from different countries and didn't like each other.
No, they are friends. And,
they are. Okay.
Yeah. And there's always been speculation. So like if you watch on All-Star games, there's always them palling around and
really?
all that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
so there's always been speculation that at some point in time, those two would
Might play together.
form some type of super team or link up.
Okay.
And look, I'm not saying this is going to happen, and neither is anybody else, but it is a coincidence that LeBron puts that thing out there talking about how he wants to see if they're really his team and blah blah blah, and then they make those moves that they make, which are pure Luka driven, and they're LeBron did not sign a new contract this summer, which he could have done. He could have become a free agent. He could have gone 2-3 more years with a no trade clause with the Lakers, which I'm sure they would have given him, but he opted not to do that, and he becomes a full free agent next summer. And same with Jokic. I mean, you could also see where they could make this a super team where Jokic comes in and LeBron signs a cap-friendly deal with Larry Bird rights, because as long as he's the last one to sign, they can go over the cap. They got a new owner. They've already talked about how, as a matter of fact, it was Draymond who was recently talking about on his podcast about how this makes the Lakers the sale of the team makes the Lakers the most dangerous team in the country because they never had money, right? The Bucks' sole source of income was the Lakers, so they couldn't go and spend that kind of money. They had to be responsible. They had to sign great TV deals. They had to figure out a way to make it profitable. Whereas the Clippers don't need to be profitable. The Warriors don't need to be profitable. Because those people bought those teams. So you put all of those things together and it becomes a very interesting possibility that next summer, after after the whole ownership deal is in place and the money is there, that you get LeBron on a more cap friendly Larry Bird right deal, Jokic coming as a free agent, Luka being there, other places and pieces and things of that nature, and they make one or 2 year run. There'll be plenty of speculation about that. Again, don't quote me and say I said this is what was going to happen. I'm just saying there's a lot of chatter about it because all these things have happened over the last few weeks, and the pieces are in a way that it could go that way.
You want to market a team, you get them on the same squad. I mean, TV rights, international rights, Europe's team. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think
Europe's team.
Yeah, straight up.
Oh, I mean, marketing is about what you can get in two places: all of Europe collectively and China. LeBron and Kobe and a lot of Lakers players have always controlled China. This is definitely an opportunity to control Europe as well.
Crazy. Cool. What you think?
Well, this is my first time actually just hearing about it when Brian talked about it. But I think I'm with you, Brian. I don't quote anybody on this, but I think it's a real thing to actually take a look at, especially if he goes the entire season and does not sign. The thing is, he wants the free agent circus. I guess he's okay with it if he's not going to re-up if this is last year of the deal, and he should want the free agent circus. I mean, I'm sure people are going to throw a lot of money at him, but that Luka thing that you talked about, it seems very real and seems like a real possibility. And I probably would give the Lakers probably the best odds to probably land Jokic, but I'm not counting Denver out. Denver could do something, get some players or whatever, and he can always go back there, but I wouldn't count the Lakers out. And you bringing up the owner of the Lakers is a good thing too as well, because when you have money to pay out, players will come. So, we'll see what happens.
I don't think that transaction has been finalized yet, so they can't do that now. So all this stuff, like next free agency is really the first opportunity. The other thing is that Jokic has long since said he doesn't need the super money. Like he's always said that he's like, I have a farm. He has a farm. He lives in his country. He could buy all the land there twice. Denver will always be able to pay him more on a max deal, but if he really is sincerely more about winning and all of that, the Lakers might be a better place for second half. And if it happens, the first thing I want to do is call Mike Malone, who I don't think should have been fired, but at the same time, he was such a jerk to Laker fans and talked so much trash about, all this other stuff. Like, hey, we got your boy. He's an coach. He was an excellent coach, should not have been fired. Apparently was pretty abrasive and didn't get along with the ownership, but He was a good coach, but he was a jerk to Lakers fans. Every year he was out there putting something in the press. He got talking trash.
Fired in sack too. I don't know about Jokic. I always wonder about this, like guys that like kind of those simple life guys that go to big cities, do they feel like, I kind of felt the same with Kawhi. He's from Southern Cal, but you come to LA and it's like a different circus. But I guess the flip to that is I don't remember. I think Magic was saying that when he recruited LeBron was like, if you come to LA, obviously your business ventures go off, but also you can be a celebrity amongst celebrities,
Right,
and kind of live
You
a little
blend in.
differently, right? So I kind of wonder about Jokic with the attention, but at the same time, it's LA. Like you're
not the most important person at Mr. Chow.
not at
Right.
all.
Right.
Literally, bro. Like you seem like to chill. So I don't know. It's an interesting. Hey, I'll be fine with it. I'd watch. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean that would make them a championship contender. None of these moves this year made them a championship contender, but these moves set up those moves. So,
Yeah, that's it. Okay, all right. That was that. I like that. That was a good little segment. WNBA contract negotiations. Coop doesn't know about it. Me and you were seeing some of the posts and talking about it. Just kind of looking at now, basically the what it boils down to is WNBA players would like to get a larger share of the revenue that the league is generating from TV rights deals, et cetera. The league has definitely become more popular. There's been, a few more teams that have come on and have also, with the Golden State Valkyries being profitable and having sellouts, ticket sales are up, et cetera. So the thought is, let us get our piece. So with that, we were mentioning the All-Star Game protest because players had shirts that, and I don't want to misquote it, but I believe it said, "Pay us what you owe us."
yeah.
Well,
So,
damn.
and all the players
Okay.
had that on at the game. So it's an interesting thought. I mean, they should, but the hard, there's some other obviously economic factors in there that will tie in. And one of them, I think I sent this to you guys earlier. We're just saying that the way I want to say it's tied out, like the league and the players only split half of the total revenue from the league. I'll have to look this up.
What their percentage breakdown? I don't think they had a minimum. I think that's where, but I'm not sure.
The players get like 10% of the revenue.
Yeah.
That's it in WNBA?
Yeah.
It's very, very low. I mean, they're not, they work a lot more than 40 hours, so they're not making much better than minimum wage for their time.
No, yeah, real talk.
What I would like to know is how much money the league generates, because I know it doesn't create. I know
Well,
it doesn't
so they generate a
profit.
lot more now because they just signed a $200 million TV deal.
Did that kick in this year or next year?
It kicks in. I believe it kicks in this year, and that was what I was going to say. It was like, there is a little bit of them not lacking a little bit of the business understanding here because they feel like they should have been making money all along,
Right.
except for they just got to a point where all of this profitability is happening.
Sure.
And there's some people who still want to talk about how it's other people and not just Caitlin Clark, but it's really been Caitlin Clark. Look, Magic and Bird saved the NBA. Caitlin Clark is saving the WNBA.
Yeah.
But that 200 million makes a difference. For context, for people watching this, F1 has a TV deal as well, and it is considered to be one of the premier sports in the world. And it only their next deal, they're hoping for $180 million TV deal. The WNBA just got a $200 million deal. That's a lot of money, and I absolutely feel like they should get a similar deal to what the NBA has, where the revenue gets split 60-40. So there's 60% going to the players and divided amongst the players and teams. And there's a minimum salary cap and a maximum salary cap. And then the owners get 40%. There should be something similar to that type of a CBA deal. And I hope that they work something out quickly, but at the same time, the players need to realize that these new economics are new economics. This was not possible because while Diana Taurasi was the best player to ever play in the WNBA, she never packed a stadium to the same extent that Caitlin Clark did. And I would tell you right now, Diana Taurasi at her best would eat Caitlin Clark's lunch.
Yeah.
9.3% is what the players get.
Yeah, because my whole thing about the economics is, and we talked about this before, the NBA subsidizes the WNBA. WNBA has not been profitable up to this point. It never has been. they've always operated
Yeah.
as a loss. So what I'm thinking is one of the reasons why I think maybe this new TV deal, they're only getting 9.3% is that the owners are trying to recoup some of that money that they've lost in the NBA. Now they haven't lost overall because they own NBA teams. So they're not losing or hurting from money. But I agree with the fact that the players should get a bigger percentage than 9.3%. I'm not sure if it's ready to go. I'm not sure if it's ready to go towards the NBA players yet, because you ain't that kind of league. And again, I know women that will refuse to watch women's basketball, so you're not bringing the audiences that
But
you
it's still
think
by
you're bringing in.
percentage.
And it's
Still by percentage. So like if you say, hey, this is the amount of profit that's out there, that profit gets spent 60
right, profit
gets split 60-40.
Yeah,
whether
if
that's
it's profit,
$10 profit or
right,
60, that's how
my whole thing is whether it's profit. If it's a loss, you have your negotiating power is not very good. But if it's a profit, I totally agree. Definitely, you got to up that percentage.
To Brian's point, a lot of stuff that the NBA, et cetera, like it's ticket sales, et cetera, it's TV deals, it's
TV
rights,
right? TV rights.
That's why the Lakers are so such a great team, is because they have the best regional television deal in all of sports, really. But most certainly in the NBA.
Well, and F1 even, you watch F1, their media rights, one thing, but then all their sponsors are the most premier luxury brands in the world. So the other influx of money is there, I think, and I gotta side with the players on this. Is like kind of like you said, Coop. Okay, one, they could share the financial information so the players can see, is the league making money, is it not? But we're seeing now that teams are becoming profitable. The Valkyries are profitable. Some of these teams are profitable. The New York Liberty just sold for what, 500? Was it 500 million?
No, they didn't sell. It was just valued at 400 million. They didn't sell.
Okay. Yeah. So you got
and they sold. They sold a
portion.
It was like I think it was 40%.
Yeah. So it's there, but to the point, man. If you are making, like Ryan said, if y'all making $1, bro, they shouldn't get 10 cents. You know
right.
What I mean?
I'm with that. Yeah.
Like that, and maybe it's not 50, depending on whatever everything else goes into it. Like you got to pay.
The way you need to negotiate that. The way you need to negotiate those CBAs is all based off of percentages of revenue and above profit. If you do it by numbers, then you put yourself in a position they're going to make more money. I mean, you've got to do it by percentages so that as their money goes up, your money goes up.
Right.
If you do it any other way, you ask for the problems you get. But hopefully they have somebody who's watched the history lessons and understands CBA negotiations, because there's plenty out there for people to see.
Yep. Yeah. So cool. All right. That was just pretty good. So that's if you guys have anything else, that's our show. We'll wrap it up with our last few segments. Let's start with the segment B you created. Hogwash, man. What's hogwash right now in sports?
Well, in sports, I think it's what's going on with the WNBA contract negotiations. I mean, it kind of overshadowed what also seemed to be like a pretty interesting All-Star weekend for the women. The other thing that I'll say is kind of hogwash is this is a personal thing for me. Bryson DeChambeau is going to be on the Ryder Cup, the President's team.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And he hasn't been playing in the golf, and live golf historically has been kind of ostracized, and they're making a thing for him based off of his performances. But those dudes can't play more than 2-3 rounds. Like every single time they fall short because they can't get there. Yeah. Not a single one of them. And Bryson had a great last round and whatever. But
where he got
just got it. Another win. I think it's a bunch of hogwash to treat those guys like they're competing at the top level. I mean, you're not putting the what do they call it, the G League players in all-star games for the NBA,
except to dunk.
And up to the dunk. Fair still.
Yep. Cool.
Mine, I was watching TV the other day and I heard people complain about college football yet again. It was about the transfer portal and NIL. And my whole thing is everybody wants these college players to get paid. When you want college players to get paid, that's not going to benefit all the small schools that people claim they want to compete. It's always going to benefit the big boys. And so people are complaining at the big boys, and now Texas Tech, because they got some money now too. I think it's Texas Tech, Everybody's competing now for these same type of pool of players, and the little guy can't compete. Well, that's what happens when you want everybody to get paid. It's not going to benefit the little guy. And I'll also hear people complain about the transfer portal. They think it's a great thing for players. They can leave just like coaches leave. Well, I agree, but that's still not going to benefit the little guy. Case in point, there's an offensive lineman named Josh Simmons who was picked in the first round by the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe. Well, he went to San Diego State. And he transferred to Ohio State. San Diego State couldn't keep him. They couldn't compete. Ohio State got him. So all these things that people complain about the little guy, it's not all these things you want for these players are not benefiting the little guy. It's benefiting the bigger schools. And so I need people just to stop complaining. This is what you wanted. This is what we got. The bigger schools are always going to be here, and they're always going to have the money to compete and play for championships. The smaller schools are not. This is how it is.
Fair. Mine is, man, Chargers put out 2 new jerseys. Man, we don't care about the jerseys stuff. I'm just kidding. I don't know if y'all saw the Steelers jersey. It's kind of want, but I actually don't have one. I'll probably just say what's hogwash is how I blew up on the golf round that we played today on a bunch of holes when I didn't need to. So and aside from that, to
y'all got a game ball?
Game ball. Yep.
Cool.
Got one? That's your segment.
Yeah, okay. I got a game ball. I'm gonna give it to a coach I actually slammed a few years ago, but I'm gonna give it to him now. It's Sean Payton. When he first got to Denver, their culture sucked. Russell Wilson wasn't good despite his stats in Denver. He wasn't good. He won 3 more games in the previous season with Wilson, and then last year he won 2 more games with a rookie quarterback than he did with Wilson. Their offensive line, which was pretty bad, it was 21st ranked. Last year was ranked 7th. This year, PFF ranked it number 2, so they should be pretty good this year. And last year, we all know he had a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, who threw for more touchdown passes than Jaden Daniels. Nobody ever talks about that. I'm still not a Bo Nix guy, but he threw more passes. I'm still not a Bo Nix guy, but he still threw more passes than Jaden Daniels, and he only had really one weapon in Courtland Sutton. So I'm gonna give Sean Payton props for making Denver a viable football team and kind of bringing them back a little bit, because they were in a lot of transition when he took over. Had a new ownership, had Russell Wilson, a lot of stuff going on. He's kind of righted that ship, so I'll give him credit for that. That's my.
Let's see how righted it is. I'm going off one season.
3 seasons.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Mine goes to the Portland GM. It's really nice when a team recognizes what they are capable of and then does the right thing. And what I mean by that is nobody's thinking Portland has any chance of winning anything right now, and they don't. And instead of giving themselves illusions about doing that, and talking and trying to do some campaign around, we've got all this young talent and blah, 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 they said, nah, let's put butts in the seats. Let's bring back Dame, give the people what they want. And then they also got a whole bunch of draft picks that they're going to be able to use, and young players who I think will develop with the leadership of Dame, who has been an institution in Portland. It's a smart, very smart move on a whole bunch of levels, and kudos to the Portland GM and the rest of the organization for doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Solid. Man, I don't got one. I'll be making up something. I'm gonna let it slide. Cool. Last one, minute to win it. Just want to thank everybody for listening. Hope you have a great week. And know that good things are on the way to you. What about you guys?
Brian usually closes this segment, so I'll go. I know last time we did the podcast, I said I was going to give you 10 things, and we'll see this season. I'm only going to give you 5. I'll wait till the next podcast to give you the other 5. The 5 things we're going to see this season is going to be, number 1, if Joe Flacco is healthy, he will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, not Shedeur Sanders. Number 2, Saquon Barkley, who carried the Eagles offense last year, he will not produce like he did last season. I don't think he will get 1,300 yards rushing this year. Number 3, number 3, the Saints and the Dolphins will be 2 of the 4 worst teams in the NFL. Number 4, you can convince me that any team in the NFC North can win that division. I can be convinced by anybody. Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, or Green Bay could win that division.
You liked Chicago last year.
Yeah, I might like him again this year. Nah. And then the last one's going to be, this will be Kyler Murray's last season in Arizona. He used to be he was the number 1 pick in the draft. People forget he's played 6 years in the NFL. He's done absolutely nothing but play in 1 playoff game and lose. Can't pay a guy all that kind of money and don't have results. This is last year guaranteed money, and I think he'll be out of Arizona when they don't make the playoffs this year. So those are the 5 things.
Okay,
that's cool.
Me?
Yeah. So there's most of the time when I talk about this stuff, it doesn't actually relate to sports, but today it does. Because in the last week, our boy in the White House has launched a full-on, let's restore a racist name to the Washington football team, and has threatened the team to not allow them to have a stadium, to go after their ability to be profitable, unless they restore a racist name. You know someone's really, really true blue racist? When they put this much energy into restoring a racist name, there's nothing special about that name. It doesn't bring back any warm and fuzzy memories. The stadium's always been a joke. People have always talked about how horrible that place was, but this is what he wants to put energy in while running the world, running the White House. This man has gone on a full offensive against the owner of the Commanders of the Washington football team, saying they need to restore the name or else. He's also going after Cleveland as well, because where one racist name we need another one. It's just ridiculous. And the people who make excuses for that man, you can't talk and say that there's any other motivation or reason for him, a guy who grew up in New York, to do a full offensive for a Washington team to try and restore a racist name. That's it.
It's our show. You got that. Yeah. That's our show. We appreciate you guys. Sports Counterpoints, July 21st, 2025. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.